Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with Adrienne Everhart again today. Welcome, Adrienne.
Hey, Helena, it's so good to be back.
We always have so much fun recording these videos, and for this video, we wanted to take some questions that we saw in the comment sections of some of our other interviews that we've done together. And something we get asked all the time is what to say to a man, and particularly for this video, what to say to a man to really inspire him to pursue you for a real relationship, especially if you've maybe been chasing him a little bit, maybe stepping into your masculine energy. And we're so lucky to have Adrienne on here with us today because she's actually an expert in what to say to a man. She's the author of the best-selling ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. So she's just the best person to be talking about this with us today. So Adrienne, I would love to just jump right into this topic. What do you have to say first about what to say to a man to inspire him to chase you?
Well, Helena, thank you as always for the warm welcome. I really do feel that I've been able to put together so much to help women rebuild their relationships after breakup, after distance, or when you go on a couple of dates with a guy and he just kind of drops out of the picture. Or maybe you've been having a great time with him, but you're getting distance. So often we're texting, we're communicating this way, and we need to connect somehow. And so that's the problem, is that we're connecting through the barrier of our phone. So I'm going to teach you a couple of scripts today. Of course, my book is full of them to solve any problem, to really end that struggle that so many of us feel in our relationships where we're not connecting, or where we're fighting, or the man's just shutting down and slowly drifting away. These are going to really help you rebuild a connection with him. One of the most popular things I always get from my female clients is that they say they went out on a date and had a wonderful time, and they've had a couple of dates, but they never hear back from the man.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I hear that all the time too. I'm so glad you brought that up. By the way, this is just kind of off the top of our heads, at least for me. I have no idea these scripts that you're going to say. So yeah, I just had to jump right in and say that is such a common thing that we hear all the time. So I would love to hear anything you have to say about that.
A lot of women, we are left wondering, why is this happening? Why is he not writing me back? We had 2 great dates. Was it something I did? Was it something that I said or something that I did wrong? I mean, do your clients experience this? When they do that, what's the first thing you usually tell them just to do for their vibe?
Yeah, absolutely. And this happens with all of us, right? Something doesn't go well, or, a man isn't behaving the way we hoped he would. So what do? First thing we want to do is blame ourselves and beat ourselves up, right? So that's the first thing I would have them do, is to stop doing any of that, because it's just not good for your vibe. It's not good for your feminine energy, right?
You got it. You got it. So once you are at a place where you're like, I'm not beating myself up anymore. I haven't done anything wrong. If this man wanted to be with me, he would. As I always say, a man will move mountains to be with you. But if you're really kind of curious, if he's still out there, if he's still interested, everybody gets busy. We have so many distractions. So a text that is a surefire text to get you a response is the following. You text him, you know what felt good the other night? Or you know what felt really good to me the other night? And give him a couple of seconds, and I almost can promise you he's going to write back and ask what.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that is brilliant. And then what would you have? And I know, from the experience I've had working with so many women, that will absolutely get you a response for sure. What would you have a woman say then once he responds back?
So remember, everything Helena and I do, it's all about feminine energy. It's all about being authentic and coming from a real place. You want to really let him know what felt good. So this really teases a part of a man's brain where he's like, what did I do that made this girl feel good? Because men really are just entranced by making us feel good. It's just something that they love to do. No matter what their age, all men like to make a woman feel good. So when you let him know that you had some sort of positive experience, go ahead and share that with him. Whether it felt so good to hold hands on the swing last night, your hand was really warm, or, oh, it felt so wonderful to share that food. It was really yummy. and it felt so nice to share. You want to find something that is authentic and you want to share it with him. If you can make it tactile, great, because he's probably going to remember that. If he was massaging your shoulder last night, or if he kissed you or something like that, go ahead and let him know that that felt really nice to you. And so what you're doing is you're creating an invitation for him to come back and give you more of that without leaning forward, instead of saying, where are you? What's been going on? Why has everything been so quiet between us? You see, it's a much different vibe and energy.
I really, really like that. I've never heard you say that before specifically. So this is so fantastic. That was brilliant. Now, I do want to mention that it's really important to, not have an agenda. I did a whole video on, should you reach out to him? And one of the key points I made there is, if you were trying to make something happen, basically, if a man has not been texting you and you are about to reach out with something like this, and you're going to feel super devastated or disappointed or something like that if you don't get a response, I always, have a woman really check in with herself. Does she have an agenda? And if she doesn't get the response she's really hoping for, is that going to be totally devastating to her? And if it is, I would advise you to not reach out in that moment. That's a clue to take your focus off of this man, put it on yourself, get yourself to a better feeling place where you're not so attached to that outcome or the result. Adrienne, would you agree there?
You got it, which is why that was the first place I wanted to start, is your vibe has to be in a right place. If you're coming from this needy, manipulative, I'm going to use this formula Adrienne Everhart gave me, you probably will get some sort of result. But we are really going for the win here. We want you to be successful in your dating and relationship life. We want you to learn how to build something authentic with a man. Now, my last little script I want to share with you is that if it's been a couple of days of silence and things have been going great with a man, this is one of my favorite things to tell my clients to send. I'm going to show it to you because I can't really say it. Can you see this?
Looks like a ... question mark.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, what's up? And you're not really saying what's up. You're not saying what's going on, but like, where did you disappear to? If things were really going good, where did you disappear to? If he does not respond to that, let him go. Let him go. Don't push anymore, but choose which one you want to use. Last night, you know what felt really good to me? Question mark. Or ... question mark, if he's just disappeared on you.
I love that. Again, haven't heard that one from you either. So everyone, please go check out Adrienne's ebook. I'll post a link to it, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I know that it's, one of your top sellers, and it's just brilliant. So many women ask me for kind of cut and paste scripts, and I always send them right there to your ebook because I know you've gotten some amazing feedback on that. And so what would you say, last question for you, what would you say, to a woman who sends the ... question mark, a man, let's say, responds with a question mark or responds with, what's up? How you doing? Where would you have her go from there?
Oh my goodness, yes, because sometimes a guy will mirror right back to you what you're sending him. Because again, guys are testing us. They're not testing us on purpose. This is just an innate quality they have. They want to be like, well, where's this girl going with this? And what does she mean by that? And he might be a little embarrassed. He might be a little caught off guard. So this is where you want to be warm. I can't express this enough. When a guy doesn't talk to us for a few days, we get mad, we get angry. We want to have some reactive feeling, and that's because you're feeling abandoned. One of your deep triggers is really getting triggered here, feeling abandoned. So instead of feeling that anger, I want you to just riff and feel that process, understand that you feel angry, understand you're feeling abandoned, but really, ultimately, this man owes you nothing. He really owes you nothing. Even if he's in a relationship with you, he can decide to end that relationship at any time. But if you respond with warmth, and just a smiley face or a oh hi and a little flower or a smiley, I'm being warm. You're letting him know that you can ride with him, you can hang with him through challenges and through ups and downs. And that's a big, important part to building trust in a relationship. You want a man that can be there with you on your worst day. And if he's going through something, you want to be able to show him you can hang in there for a little while too with him as well.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's so funny. My sister was texting me last night, same situation. A guy, has been kind of inconsistent. And she's like, well, I'm mad and I want him to it's a guy she's been out with just once or twice. Well, I'm upset and I want him to try to work harder. And I'm like, if you're still there, that's the thing with the warmth. A lot of women get stuck on that and they're like, well, I deserve better treatment. Well, if you're still there sticking in with this man, you have a choice to be there or not. And you also have a choice in this moment when he does show back up and respond to you. You can think about something that's pissing you off. You can focus on your anger or your disappointment, or you can think about something you like about him, something he did that made you feel incredible. That choice is yours always. And again, we would never advise you to just be warm and open to some man who's mistreating you or who's extremely hot and cold or who disappears or who's disrespectful. Of course, we would never want you to even consider dating or being in a relationship with someone like that, right?
Absolutely, Helena, you bring up such a good point. What you focus on is what you're going to pull more your way. So one of the things I do in my Getting Back programs is that we really get you to focus on what it is you do want. And even with texting and scripting, when you're focusing on what you do want, you don't have an agenda, but you know what you do want. You know the feelings that you want to have with a man. You're coming from that energy place inside of you. You're not coming from the masculine mindset, which is about an agenda. It's about protocol. It's about, I should be treated like this. You're coming from a place of like, well, here I am, and I'm open.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We should probably do a whole nother video on this. And another reason for this is, you want a man who is attracted to you when you are warm. You don't want a man who's only attracted to you when you're being cold and distant, because that type of man is typically just in it for the conquest. And once he kind of, gets back in your good graces or gets what he wants, he might back off again and stay there. So you want a man who is coming towards you, chasing, pursuing you when you are warm and open and receptive to him, not when you're playing some game or using some strategy to try to get him to do what you want. Right, Adrienne?
I love it. And I hope things go okay with your sister and her guy.
I'm sure they'll be fine. It was just funny because I literally had this conversation last night and then you brought it up. It's such a common thing, a guy doesn't text for a day or two and then we get mad, right? We're upset. We want him to make it up to us somehow. And like you said, if you barely know this guy, if you just met him, he doesn't really owe you anything. Often you're at a stage where you should just be watching him a little more dispassionately, like, does this guy have what it takes to date me or not? Not jumping in there and trying to steer it in some direction. You want him to show you who he is in the early stages, really, right?
Yeah, I always call it's your own American Idol or your own, it's your own audition for this man. That's why you're dating him. Yeah, you're dating him to find out, like, can you show up? Will you call me? And then, of course, when you cross that threshold from just dating to in a relationship, that is where, and you know this better than anybody, Helena, that's where you come to the man with your terms and conditions. But again, that's a whole nother video.
Yeah. And I'm laughing because it was in one of our programs. I don't know if it was in Heartbroken to Happily Ever After or Find and Keep the One. You said, he's auditioning for you and how's he doing? And that just made me laugh. Every time I think about that, I laugh. How's he doing right now? If this guy is like really hot and cold, you're not auditioning, don't think of yourself as trying to prove yourself to him. He is showing you who he is as clearly as he possibly can. How's he doing? If he's not doing a good job, what do you want with that guy anyway, right?
Yeah, when you're feeling like you're in the spotlight and you've got to tap dance for him, the energy is in the wrong direction. The energy is in the wrong direction. So you can show up for a date, you can look nice, you can put some time and effort into your appearance, but really that isn't even what really wins a man's heart. It is something that he has to feel inspired to do for you. It's something that happens with this energy exchange we keep talking about. But yeah, that was in, I think it's just somewhere in the complete bundle of one of our programs for Find and Keep the One, about coming at dating with curiosity. And you're on audition for me and I just want to see where this goes. I think we had a woman in class message us because a man she had gone on a date with, he had said, well, can I come over to your house and give you a massage? And she was like, "Oh my goodness, what do I say to that?" And we told her, "Well, guys don't always mean what they're saying. They'll throw something out there and they'll test your quality, but you can say, "Oh, I love massage, but maybe when we get to know each other better." So you can come at it with this playful curiosity where everything's not so serious and have fun in the process. Dating can actually be fun.
I totally agree. And we always tend to go really deep with these videos. We just thought, I thought I was just you're gonna give me a couple of scripts, but it's really important to mention this stuff too, because these deeper dynamics going on underneath is really what's important. Adrian can give you, 500 plus things to say to a man that are fantastic, and you have to be coming from a really like centered, aligned place, not saying something to try to get a result because this guy's not doing what you want, right? So, Adrian, thank you so much. This was great. We should do a whole series of videos on what to say.
You're welcome so much. I could talk about it all day. In the first part of my book, I devote to connecting to your feminine energy. So that's your core here. It's at everheartcoaching.com/ebook if anybody's interested in reading more about it.
Perfect. Yeah. Everyone go check that out. I'll include a link actually in the description. I'll also include a link to our programs too, Heartbroken Happily Ever After and Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. You can get those together right now at a special sale price when you bundle them both together. So Adrian, thank you so much again. And I really hope we can do this again soon.
Me too, Helena. Thanks so much for having me.